the revealed scriptures. The author states, وَالْإِيمَانُ بِالْكُتُبِ هُوَ التَّصْدِيقُ بِجَمِيعِ كُتُبِ اللَّهِ الْمُنَزَّلَةِ عَلَى أَنْبِيَائِهِ عَلَيْهِمُ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ وَأَنَّهَا كَلَامُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى لَا تَفَاوُتَ فِيهَا إِلَّا بِالنَّفْعِ وَالْخَصَائِصِ. Faith in the revealed scriptures is to have conviction in all of Allah Most High scriptures that He has revealed to His prophets, alayhimu salatu wassalam, and that they are all Allah Most High speech. There is no disparity between them except through the type of benefit and distinctive qualities that they possess. وأفضلها القرآن العظيم وهو ناسخ للجميع ولا ينسخ ولا يبدل مدى الأزمان. The best of them is the majestic Quran. It abrogates all the previous scriptures and is not itself abrogated, nor will it be distorted through the passages of time. Here a question people ask, if the speech of Allah is not distorted, why were the previous scriptures distorted? Meaning the Torah, the Injil, the Zabur, the Suhuf of Ibrahim alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam, these were divinely revealed scriptures. Why were they distorted but the Quran was not distorted? The response is that when these scriptures were revealed, the clerics amongst the rabbis, amongst the Jews, were ordered to preserve the books. بِمَا اسْتُحْفِظُوا مِنَ الْكِتَابِ, meaning they were commanded to preserve the books. So they were able to tamper the revelations. But when the Quran was revealed, which was the last revelation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ, that we revealed this remembrance, meaning the Quran, and we will preserve this Quran. So the protection of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left the protection of the Quran upon Himself. But of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates asbab, meaning means by which the Quran was preserved through the Quran or the compilers of the Quran. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala undertook the preservation of the Quran itself, unlike the previous scriptures. The next is regarding the messengers alayhimu salatu wassalam. So any questions now will be answered once we finish inshallah this section. So any questions you have, keep them for when we finish this section. وَالْإِيمَانُ بِرُسُلِهِ وَالتَّصْدِيقُ بِأَنَّهُمْ أَفْضَلُ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ وَأَفْضَلُهُمْ سَيِّدُنَا مُحَمَّدٌ صلى الله عليه وسلم سيد المرسلين صلوات الله وسلامه عليهم أجمعين وأنهم عقلاء أمناء مبلغون ما أمروا بتبليغه معصومون من كل عيب حسي ومعنوي مخل بمقامهم الشريف. Faith in the messengers عليهم الصلاة والسلام is to have the conviction that they are the best of Allah's servants, meaning the Anbiya, prophets, and messengers will be a Rusul, or Rasul is messenger. The best of them is our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is consensus that the best of the messengers is Sayyiduna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the master of the messengers. May Allah's benedictions and peace be upon them all. Moreover, one is to believe that they are highly intelligent, meaning the most intelligent of creation of Allah is the messengers alayhi salatu wasalam. This is why they say the knowledge of mathematics and all other sciences is from Sayyiduna Idris alayhi salam. Sayyiduna Idris alayhi salam was the founder of mathematics, but this was given to him by revelation, and then humanity developed these sciences after they were given to humanity through divine revelation. They say that the knowledge of Sayyidina Idris alayhi salam was employed by the pharaohs in order to make the pyramids. This was originally from the knowledge of Sayyidina Idris alayhi salam. They are highly intelligent, trustworthy, convey all that they have been commanded to convey, and are protected from every tangible and intangible blemish that may compromise their honorable rank. What this means is that the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam are free from every flaw or blemish, meaning physical flaw or blemish, to such an extent that if a Nabi, a Prophet, does not wash himself, like Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam would stay in the wilderness for months and years, when they would come back into society, there would be no blemish on them, meaning their mustache would not overgrow, the fragrance from their bodies would not go away, they would not have any type of blemish or flaw on them. The monks attempted to imitate this. The monks, they attempted to live in the wilderness, but when they would do so, their clothes would start smelling, their bodies would start smelling because they would not bathe themselves. They attempted to imitate Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, but of course the blemishes and the flaws would show on the bodies of the monks. So Prophets alayhi salatu wasalam are physically pure. This is why the sweat of the Prophets alayhi salatu wasalam, we know the hadith that the companions would gather the sweat of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in bottles in order to add to the fragrance. So when they would add this to perfume, it would increase the perfume in fragrance. Likewise, the water that they would pass when relieving themselves, that water, according to a majority of scholars, is not considered impure in terms of fiqh, in terms of jurisprudence. And the solids that they would do when relieving themselves were never witnessed by any human being. Were never witnessed by any human being. Why? Because the earth was ordered to consume, open up and take the solids that they would relieve themselves of. So this was physical perfection. Or flies would not sit on the body of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So these are physical perfections which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them with. The Qadiyaniyah, meaning the group that believe in a new prophet, if they had this correct belief regarding the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the previous prophets, when Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed to be a prophet, they would have observed Mirza Ghulam and seen the imperfections in Mirza Ghulam, that he was imperfect as a human, and they would have known that he is not a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because a prophet of Allah does not have physical imperfections. Now there are groups who deny these khasa'is, special qualities of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But as we know that this is an integral of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, otherwise it leads to other deviances. Meaning, if someone believes the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a man like me and you in all the senses, meaning if me and you do not brush our teeth for days, the fragrance would go away. Or if we do not trim our mustache, the mustache will grow onto the lips. So you cannot say the Prophet ﷺ is like me and you in every sense of the word. If you mean he is a human from humanity, then this is correct. Because the Quran says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. But it says, say I am a man like you, يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. But revelation is sent on me. This makes the distinction. That the distinction is that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has khasa'is, special qualities. And this is why Imam Jalaluddin al-Suyuti rahimahullah wrote Al-Khasa'is al-Kubra, which is a book compiling all the special qualities of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He also wrote Al-Khasa'is al-Sughra, the smaller book, compiling all the special qualities of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَيَسْتَحِيلُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَضْدَادُ هَذِهِ الصِّفَاتِ وتجوز عليهم الأعراض البشرية التي لا تؤدي إلى نقص في مراتبهم العلية كالأكل والجوع والنكاح والأمراض غير الدنية The opposite of these attributes are impossible in respect to them. Nonetheless, human characteristics that do not lead to the depreciation of their lofty ranks, such as eating, hunger, marriage, and non-degrading ailments, are possible in respect of them. So the Prophets ﷺ, they bled, like in the Battle of Uhud, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ lost a tooth, meaning his tooth was martyred, we would say. Or headaches, they would have illnesses that do not show depreciation. Here some people ask regarding Ayyub alayhi salam, that Ayyub alayhi salam had certain illnesses. But did those illnesses, were those illnesses repugnant? The answer is no. All those reports that commentators of the Quran mention regarding Sayyidina Ayyub alayhi salam, those are Israelite reports, meaning the narrators like Ka'ab al-Ahbar, they took these narrations, who wasn't a Sahabi, who was from the Tabi'een, meaning those who lived in the time of the companions but did not see the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning after the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They took these reports from the previous scriptures which the Jews added in their scriptures, but some of the commentators, without checking, added these narrations into their commentaries of the Quran. But what type of illness did Ayyub alayhi salam have? We would say those illnesses which were not repugnant, meaning there was no smell, there was no skin disease which would be repugnant to the onlooker. It was an illness which would not make you turn away from the individual. Likewise, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, did he actually go blind? The answer is no. It was not actual blindness. It was Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam was worried regarding Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. This caused, due to the worry, he was not able to see for a while. So when the shirt of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam was brought back, he smelled the fragrance of Yusuf alayhi salam. He knew he was alive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restored his eyesight. But we would not call this blindness.
So, would you just connect emotion, people being sad or depressed, to illness?
The question is, would we say sadness is a form of illness? The answer is a cause of illness. Yes, sadness can, a sadness or a depression, which is known in Arabic as al-ka'aba, can lead to psychosomatic illnesses, they call this. Meaning, when you have a psychological issue, it can sometimes show up as a physical ailment. Psychosomatic illnesses, meaning someone may have mental depression, but the mental depression can sometimes show up as a physical illness. But this, again, this would not occur with Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. This we would say is impossible for Prophets alayhimus salam. The last day, وَالْإِيمَانُ بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَالتَّصْدِيقُ بِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَمَا حَوَاهُ مِنَ الْبَعْثِ وَالْحَشْرِ وَالْحِسَابِ وَالْمِيزَانِ وَالْجَنَّةِ وَالنَّارِ وَمَا أَعَدَّهُ اللَّهُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ مِنَ النَّعِيمِ الَّذِي لَا يَنْفَدُ وَمَا تَوَعَّدَ بِهِ لِلْمُخَالِفِينَ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَلِيمِ الْمُؤَبَّدِ. Faith in the last day is to have conviction in resurrection day, meaning the day of judgment, and what it compromises, such as the resurrection, ba'ath, the assembly, hashr, the accountability, hisab, the scale, meaning a scale shall be placed on the day of judgment, the bridge, sirat, paradise, hellfire, and what Allah has prepared for the God conscious of unending bliss, and what He has threatened the opponents of everlasting painful torment. So this is in relation to the day of judgment. The question is, firstly, the scale on the day of judgment is a scale, mizan, in which the good actions rise and the bad actions take the scale down. Unlike earth, on earth, things, when they become heavy, they go down, the law of gravity. But that is a different realm. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِلَيْهِ يَصْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُهُ. That to him ascend the pure word and the good actions, he raises them. So on the day of judgment, the scale, when good deeds are placed in the scale, the actions will rise. What is the logical proof for the day of judgment? The answer is, if someone says there is no day of judgment, like communists or people who believe in no God, or even certain religious groups like the Nation of Islam in America, the black nationalists, they do not believe in a day of judgment. So what is the logical proof? You have rational proof and you have textual proof, but the rational proof would be that if there was no day of judgment, then good and bad would be equal. So an evil man like Hitler, who killed millions of people, and a good person would be equal, because Hitler killed so many people, he died. But if someone says there is no day of judgment, then he shall not be taken to account for his evil actions. So good and evil would become equal. But Islam makes a distinction between good and evil, that all good shall be paid for, meaning people shall be compensated for the good that they did, and for any evil that they may have done, they shall be punished. And this can only occur on the day of judgment. وَالْإِيمَانُ بِالْقَدْرِ هُوَ التَّصْدِيقُ بأن ما كان وما يكون هو بتقدير الله تعالى خيرا كان أو شرا نفعا كان أو ضرا. Faith in preordination is to have conviction in that which has occurred, and what will occur is by Allah Most High's preordainment, whether it is good or bad, beneficial or harmful. Here people ask the question, does this then mean we have free will? If Allah ordains everything, does this mean we have free will? The answer is yes, because the free will is also ordained by Allah. Meaning, Allah created free will within you. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا إِنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ would be translated as, it is not what you will, but it is only what Allah wills. What does that mean? Does this negate free will? Answer is no. If Allah had willed for us not to have free will, we would not have free will. But Allah created within us free will. That free will is also created by Allah. Meaning, when we have the choice to do good or bad, when we choose to do good, Allah creates our action for us. When we choose to do bad, Allah creates that action for us. So the actions are created by Allah, but free will is also created by Allah. So certain groups, what they did, they could not comprehend this. So one group said, the Mu'tazila, they said, Allah has given the ability to the servant to create his own actions. So everything we do is created by us. Another group said, everything absolutely is ordained and willed by Allah, that we are forced to do everything. This group is Jabariya. They said we are forced to do everything. We are forced to do good and we are forced to do bad. But the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah said, Allah creates everything, but He also creates our free will. So we have free will, but the free will is also created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, of course, this discussion on free will is a deep discussion. I delivered a lecture on the problem of evil. You can refer back to that lecture. وَأَمَّا الْإِسْلَامُ فَهُوَ التَّسْلِيمُ لِمَا جَاءَ بِهِ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم عَنْ رَبِّهِ وَهُوَ كَمَا فِي الْحَدِيثِ شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وصوم رمضان وحج البيت إن استطاع إليه سبيلا. As for Islam, it is the submission to what the Prophet ﷺ has conveyed from his Lord, and it is, as mentioned in the hadith, as the testimony that there is no God except Allah, and that Muhammad ﷺ is the Messenger of Allah, establishing the prayer, paying the zakat, fasting in Ramadan, and making the Hajj to the house if one is able. Of course, these 5 pillars are coming in the next chapter now. والتسليم للشهادتين والإتيان بهما والأربعة الباقية نذكرها في 4 أبواب لأجل الإيضاح من غير إطناب. Submission to the 2 testimonies is to pronounce them, meaning just saying the testimonies. We shall mention the remaining four in four individual chapters for the purpose of clarity without long-windedness. So now inshallah we shall have questions and answers. Then after the break we shall have the four pillars of Islam. We shall cover as much as we are able to cover the four pillars of Islam. So some of the questions we have here.